I would say crypto held in relatively well, was quite resilient as most of the high growth parts of the broader risk asset market, things like the IPO market, the SPAC market, started trading off really earlier to mid last year and accelerated into the end of last year. More recently, we've seen sort of a kind of a blowout in that part of the market, and I think that's sort of trended into crypto specifically. And we've seen that in things like the premium, which is now quite a steep discount, and things like GBTC. So I think as broad risk assets are digesting higher rates and tighter financial conditions, you're seeing things further out the risk curve trend lower. Crypto is still squarely in that vein of further out the risk curve assets. And so, nothing all too surprising. I do think there's been an acceleration as you've seen things like margin calls happening in traditional markets where, folks are looking for liquidity. Crypto tends to be liquid. It's a 24/7 market. And as, equity markets close, margin call notifications go out. People need to find liquidity to source and send to their brokerage accounts. Crypto is a liquid asset that becomes that finance of last resort.
Okay, so being more liquid, investors are saying it's time to sell. What can we sell? Bitcoin, let's sell it. Now, as you mentioned, BTC sub 36,000 USD now at the lowest level since July. Do you think that Bitcoin has further to fall? Because many investors will probably see the declines as value creation, an opportunity to buy back in. What do you think?
Yeah, and this is, I've said for a long time now, as a retail investor, you should think about this as an averaging in, kind of a dollar cost average type market. As a professional investor, we track a lot of metrics, whether it be quantitative or qualitative, and market structure issues where we've seen a degradation in market structure in crypto over the last, call it, few months. This is a great opportunity for people to re-enter the market or continue to enter, average down. Bitcoin, is still firmly in growth mode. If you look at a logarithmic chart, it's still in, a long-term bull trend. It's obviously taken a leg lower. The market's volatile. It's still a young asset class. I mean, this is not all too surprising. Volatility in Bitcoin and ETH was, structurally low for and declining over the last year. I didn't think it was sustainable that Bitcoin vols would stay in the, mid 50s, right? And now we've seen it spike back into the 80s. Reminds people that we're still in a relatively new asset class. I think a lot of the growth that happened last year in crypto, there was a lot of value creation that outstripped the fundamental growth. And now we've seen kind of a retracement in that. There has been a lot of dispersion in the market. So for an active manager, it's been a very attractive space to play in. This volatility is very attractive for people in the hedge fund space in crypto. But I think it's just a stark reminder that we're still early and this asset class can and move violently alongside traditional markets. I mean, this shouldn't be viewed any differently than the IPO market of names that are coming to market at 30 to 40 times 3 years out sales. And we've seen the IPO market come in 80+% for many names, and crypto's held in relatively well.